What is up, buds? Welcome to Weed&d, the pot positive live tabletop role-playing experience. I am your dungeon master for the night, Brandon Allen McClanahan, but my buds call me Bam. So, feel free to call me Bam. So good to have you guys back with us this week. Holy crap, as we start to wind down toward the latter stages of this prologue to the world of Ganjaria, it's tough not to take a step back and look at all that we've done to get here. And something kind of crazy, tonight's Sesh is Sesh 60 of Weed&d. 60 sessions with the Ferocious Five and their exploits through the prologue to the world of Ganjaria. For those of you that are new with us along the way, Ganjaria will be the campaign setting of the Weed&d main campaign. It is a world of my design where magic itself finds its source in the magical plant of the Feywild, GANJA. So it's going to be a treat. We've been kind of, this prologue was kind of our answer to quarantine and having to do something we thought we would be doing live in the studio that we built for this show and present it in a digital fashion, which was very new for all of us, as I'm sure some of you guys have noticed along the way with our various tech issues and things. Thank you for hanging with us. Thank you for all the endless support. Seriously, you guys make it so easy to come in here and work on this thing every week, because it's just like we just want to bring something dope to you to pay you back for how awesome you are to us. So thank you to the Buds community. If you're new, talk around. These people are absolutely incredible. Join us at all of our various socials. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram at ArtHeart Studios. There's the Weed&d Hub group on Facebook as well. And then probably the best way to kind of just kick it with us would be our Discord. I'm certainly on there all the time. Yeah, we've got some video game channels there. We've got some D&D stuff. Some of the buds have gotten together and played some D&D together. So, if you're looking for some like-minded, chill people to play some D&D with, freaking come over to the Discord. We'll pop it over there in the chat right now. Our crew over there, Darko, Double T, Mortigan, there's dudes that are there all the time that are just positive beacons. So thank you to you guys for just holding it down all the time. We freaking love you. I am, however, champing at the bit, because that's what horses do. They champ at the bit. They do not chomp at the bit. They changed it to chomp at the bit because people said it wrong so many times. But it is champ. I'm champing at the bit to get me to some of this sweet, sweet D&D. But in order to do this, I'm going to have to pass this magical joint through the fibers of the interwebs to my dear and wonderful friend, Brenna Folger. Hey, Brenna, how you doing, girl? It's it.
I'm doing great, Bam. Brenna Folger here, but you guys know me as Prince Bruenor. This is Serpent, the Serpent Slayer. And man, I'm feeling so excited to be here. I'm excited to get started. And something that I was thinking about today is that my favorite game show is Wheel of Fortune. Abby, what's your favorite game show, girl? Oh my goodness. I am Price is Right from day one. Come on, staying home sick, watching that Plinko. Come on. Yeah. Well, I'm Abby Dandy, better known around these parts as Tynna Smoothhands, the halfling cleric. And you know what? I'm ready to just friggin' jump right into it today. What do you got for us today, Drew?
Oh, thanks, baby. What up, y'all? Drew. Thoricus is the dwarf. Level 10 for now. Can't wait for level 11, because that's when Papa brings the pain. Oh, yeah, it's going to be good. So we're inside of a Kracken on a shitty-ass boat. Let's get weird with it, y'all. Glad you're here with us. Best friend, you ready to do some weird shit? I know you are. I don't even have to ask, but this is coming to you, bud.
Oh, I am. And this is quite the tool for it. What's up, everybody? Jake Taylor here as Rial Othrevan, the level 10 arcane trickster rogue. Favorite game show? I seriously had flashbacks of Price is Right sick days. I get that. I'm between Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy. I love them both. And I'm curious in chat, who should host Jeopardy? Because Jeopardy doesn't know. Maybe Gus knows. Gus,
and why is it LeVar Burton?
Oh, appreciate it, Jake. I should host Jeopardy, obviously. They haven't called me back at all. If it's not going to be me, it should be LeVar. This seems like a no-brainer. But that's just me. I am Gus Two Blunts Langley. I will be playing your resident revenant, Divit, the Bardlock. Man, I'm pretty excited to kick things off. All right, so a lightning dodger out. Bam, you're up.
Oh man, what a magical little thing. It always comes back. It changes shapes and sizes as it travels around the many locations on the internet, but it always comes back to old Bam. My favorite, honestly, we talked about it before. Mine, honestly, I think the best game show ever made was Legends of the Hidden Temple, man. Like that. It was just the right balance of like, I could do that and still like challenging and fun. The presentation was wonderful. Like it was a little hokey, but in all the right ways. But yeah, it was, I think those like the Guts era, I think those games got it right. Like there was just enough like, no, I could do that. And so there was, like all of us sat on the couch, like just make the puzzle right, you idiots. But yeah, no, for sure. Legends of the Hidden Temple was phenomenal. And I think just the pinnacle of game show. Although I love Survivor, which is technically a game show in a weird way. We're 20 seasons in, 20 to go. All right, guys, we are going to kick this thing off. In order to do so, we got to do a little ritual we like to do around here. Maybe you've heard about it, maybe you haven't, but we like to take a lighter, like this WeeDnD lighter right here. Make sure we're not going to light any of our friends, family, or household pets on fire and go. Lighters up. Let's play some D&D.
WeeDnD, high fantasy, literally for you and me. So load a bowl and make a roll to take control.
Ooh, the theme song. Every week it's like, all right, we gotta do it about a theme song hits. All right, guys. Again, big shout out Sandy Stein, the man who does all of our original music for this show, including that theme and including all the music you're gonna hear throughout this episode. We love you, buddy. But if you will please allow me to set the mood. When last we left the Ferocious Five, they stood on the Queen Anne, the enchanted ship of the dreaded bounty hunters known as the Drowned Hounds. After a tremendous river battle, Toko the Hatchet and Thoricus Onyxheart had dispatched the Abomination of Sorrow, the tortured child Drench, as she used her tremendous powers to control the nearby waterfall in an attempt to separate Bruenor from the remaining four. Rial and Tynna battled the mystical crow swarm Moody Black as they raced down the river, trying to save Bruenor from the clutches of the living barrel known as Kuhn. Using the powerful force of the river, Bruenor managed to impale the barrel creature upon a nearby log of driftwood, blowing the living will-o-wisp essence out the other side. The tide of battle turned as the crystal being used as a weapon by Moody consumed her, as well as the wispy essence of Kuhn, and flew away toward the Queen Anne. In pursuit, the five came upon a tremendous sight as the legendary primordial monster known as the Kracken raised from the seas before them. But surprisingly, Divit stood in its mouth, skeletal hand extended in invitation as they reluctantly went inside. All right, guys, we jump back in. You're all standing on the watery soaked boards of the Queen Anne. Again, the boards of this ancient ship kind of hum with a certain magic. There's an enchanted quality to the boards themselves. Now, you've seen this boat, go underwater and stay, so that certainly is enough of a quality itself. But you feel like there may be more secrets in the boards of this ship. All of you kind of stand right now, the four of you and Toko stepping onto the bow, Rial, Thoricus, Bruenor, and Tynna. You're all, having just stepped in, you feel the great Kraken shake. You smell, the smell of an animal's breath, heavy with water and dew, as this great, swirl of just the beast breathing kind of blows through your hair and on your skin. The walls around you are made of the insides of a creature. They hang and they're covered in saliva and everything is wet around you. It drips from the walls around you. You can kind of see, you guess what would be the esophagus of this Kraken, just kind of swelling in front of you. With each breath in, it grows, and then with each exhale, it contracts. Suddenly you feel the last big breath of air push out. As you can only imagine, the Kraken is now sinking underwater. You kind of feel like when you're on an elevator, the stomach, that little pit in your stomach kind of, as you seem to be dropping at a relatively quick speed. You know, you see Toko standing there at the edge of the ship, just kind of looking around. Divit, you're standing opposite them on the other side of the ship. You hear the chinking of the living chains of Captain Kreefus standing behind you. He kind of whispers in your ear as you look upon the awestruck faces of your allies. It's your time, boy. Your performance begins. You see he steps back, and the chains kind of come off of his back in all directions, like 6 different lengths of chain are just kind of billowing around him as he stands behind Divit. Divit, you look at your friends, your allies, now on the ship, as you had so sworn. What do you do?
Okay. Facing the group with Kreefus to my back and my long-term allies in front of me, I give them a look. And it's like a much more old school Divit look than anybody in the Hounds would recognize.
Yeah, so
And
far,
then-
around you, Divit, you don't see any, the only person that you see right now is your allies, Toko, and then behind you is Kreefus. You don't see Moody, you don't see Kuhn, no sign of Drench. So yeah, you kind of have like your face turned to them right now.
Okay, all right. No, I wasn't expecting this. Okay, exciting. All right. So I start looking at the group and I'm like, who, start barking. And I'm like hoping that the other like hounds are gonna start barking as well, because I want to make it clear to them that I'm like part of the drowned hounds now.
So Divit, as you you start kind of channeling this air out of you. You can't help but carry with it a little bit of your bardic magic, the pink mist of bardic energy. Your song, even if just a chant, is a magical song by nature, nevertheless. And as you chant, all of you feel kind of the concussive force of the booming energy within Divit. And with each pounding, you all start looking around you on the ship, and you start seeing the spectral forms, these like spiritual wisps of energy, and they all seem to be working on the ship. Like you see like a couple of them scrubbing the floorboards, and you hear them chant in response, and then they disappear from sight. Like they're always there working, they're always crewing the ship, but only through these gusts of Divit's magic are you able to see that in fact you are not just surrounded by Divit, the ship, and this, but also 50 spiritual essences that seem to be enslaved or working toward this ship. You kind of see them ping themselves. So Divit, your plan kind of worked, but in a weird way. Like now you're a little bit more aware of your surroundings as well, that there are these strange spirits that seem to be attached to the ship.
Right. That's right.
You even hear Kreefus can't help but like,
It was inevitable.
You guys see Divit in front of you, the chains of Kreefus kind of building up behind him, the spirits all around you.
Bruenor, you knew as soon as I met your cool friends they were gonna like me.
Divit, come on, man. Say it ain't so. You can't, just leave us for these schmucks. These really hot schmucks.
Super hot, and it looks like you can though.
Ugh.
I had no choice.
What do you mean?
What do you mean you had no choice?
We literally, our whole thing is about choice.
Yeah.
Come on, man. We've literally talked 6 people off of ledges by reminding them that they always have a choice, brother. So, what? Why now? Why now?
Bruenor is super aware that this is her shit. She knows exactly where we're going. I know exactly where I'm going. I was captured by the drowned hounds. They're taking me to see my sister. This is a lot. And she's just even though she saw that glint in his eye, even if she has a little part of it in her mind that's I'm just gonna help sell this, then she's also really asking what the fuck, bro?
Okay,
Yeah.
I want to send a mental message to Bruenor in this moment. The drowned hounds are guns for hire. They hold no allegiance to your sister. Trust me.
So I'm just real mad at you, and I'm just mad.
So I'm like, you must choose now, friends. Join the hounds.
Choose. Oh.
What are we
Or
doing?
face judgment.
Wait, we can join?
You see
That's an
Kreefus
option?
like taking the opportunity steps forth, and he's like, "That's right. You could all swear allegiance to my ship, like your friend Divit here did."
Oh wait, hold on, shut up 1 second. Everyone just shut up, hold on. It's because I'm remembering and I need to just do something when I remember it.
She casts the Maiden's Board so that everyone can breathe underwater.
Everybody, hold up.
Yeah, before I forget, before I forget, anyway, I'm gonna just do this right now.
Yeah.
Takes out the Maiden's Board and like,
So,
whatever, like,
Bruenor,
slams on the ground.
something kind of crazy happens. You
Uh-oh.
pull out the Maiden's Board. And as you hold it in your hand, it is only in this moment, as your feet stand upon the wooden boards of this ship, that you notice, as you pull the thing out to call upon the ability to cast water breathing on the people around you, helping your allies who are not aquatic, as you plunge toward what you assume to be a meeting with your sister. You notice as you pull the board out in front of you, you look at the Maiden's Board, the cresting front, the Maiden's head of a mighty ship made of ancient wood. And you can't help but notice as you go to channel the energy that the wood grain of the shield that you hold matches the wood grain of the ship that you now stand on.
What?
You kind of look back over your shoulder, and Bruenor, from the front of the ship of the Queen Anne, it looks like the Maiden's head has been completely ripped off. You just see splintered pieces of wood where the set front of a well-made ship would be. And it's like, you can't help but just like, in the moment, that the Maiden's Board shield is in fact the Maiden's head of the ship you're standing on right now.
So immediately my eyes get all like, Fry from Futurama squinty, just right at Kreefus. Like literally just right away I go from being like, yeah, whoa.
You see Kreefus, he's got 4 lightsabers. Good luck with 4 lightsabers. No, you see Captain Kreefus. Captain Kreefus Sutherland. I mean, shit, no. All right, yeah, you see Captain Kreefus Bruenor kind of looking at you as if you look up to shun it, and he's just looking straight at you as if he's aware of this connection as well. Now, something that makes that a little confusing, Bruenor, just because I know it was a little vague when we were in, and it's been quite a while. It was literally months ago that you got this. But this this ship is tied to the lineage of your family. So, it's, again, you kind of already know this, but again, kind of aiding to that pit in the feeling of your stomach, it's like your sister or someone from your family must have literally given them this ship. And so in this moment, it's that personal betrayal of your bloodline and your lineage you kind of feel tickling in your body is, again, like you said, you feel that it's like, it's on me, like this, what's happening right now, all this stuff, the people behind you are now at risk. Divit has apparently made some bargain with this captain's crew, all of this in the name of this journey that you have been, this quest to save your city. Some of these realizations kind of start slamming into you as, you're holding the wood, you're looking at Kreefus, his big yellow hat with the plumes of feathers on it, his long yellow jacket, the moving chains that shift all around like piercings all over his skin. He's just kind of, again, devilishly charismatic, just kind of looking at you as you're making these discoveries, and he almost nods to affirm your thought, like, This isn't even my ship.
My friends, I made a deal with the pirate. My servitude for safe passage for my friends. But one thing they would not bend on is that they said that they would take Bruenor to the city. So I say that's exactly what we do.
I look at Bruenor and I say, I'm going wherever you go.
They got good food there.
I'm going without saying it just because we're in the throat of a Kracken. And I'm just kind of taking in the surroundings. Like we're literally in the anatomy of an eldritch beast, like an ancient fucking horror.
Yes, so the primordials, just so you guys know, Melora was a primordial, the spirit of the Malachite Mountains. His body's said to be the mountain itself. So the Kracken, just, again, to kind of fill in like regional locality, the Kracken is said to be a primordial, one of the original monsters that helped create the earth. You guys don't know a ton about the Kracken. Bruenor, it was a nightmare for you. Rial, you couldn't help but, of course, have read about, some of the primordials in your time in the Cloister of Trees. It is like a legendary monster, but also, even in a world full of monsters, the tales of it seem a little far-fetched. Like, it's too big, it's too vast. Like, if that was out there, how is anybody living?
They were like fairy tale stories, like the Kraken. That was always something, like, with my parents, with my dad who raised me. Like, you better look out. Don't go too close to those errant shores of the Kraken.
Yeah, it's hard as a single father.
Exactly. But yeah, I'm taking in just where we're actually at and seeing Divit again and just the revelation and all these conflicting emotions. In typical Rial fashion, I faint.
Oh.
You guys see as, Rial's looking around, his eyes are pretty wide as if he's like awestruck by what he's seeing. Also, to kind of compound into this, Rial, I wanted to make this like you, Divit, and Bruenor all feel like you're getting close to something you've been away from for a long time. And it's almost like that straw that breaks the camel's back, Rial. As you're looking around and you're consumed with all of the things that have gone on where you are in your destiny, you feel like you're drawing closer to synthesis as well, because if we recall, Exonius is one of the aspects of synthesis. And so it's like, if you're going toward Elmir, if you're headed toward that direction, then it's like an overarching pit of destiny in your stomach, Rial. As your skin goes faint, you feel the pins and needles and the lights turn off. You guys hear the thud of Rial landing on the boat, and then the immediate mocking laughter of Captain Kreefus. Some people just don't have their sea legs, eh?
I have some smelling salts and some like dried roses, and I whiff it under Rial's nose.
Yeah, you get a staunch dose of some bad smell. Ooh, that kind of arouses you a bit, but you guys see Rial just kind of fainted and weak on the ground.
Beforehand, though, I would like to cast some prestidigitation to ease off the Kraken gut smell. Just make it a little nicer for everybody, like for the 5 for Toko.
Yeah, you can't imagine
Not
this
for
Kraken
Kreefus,
brushes
he's
its teeth
good.
much.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Flick your nostrils, Kreefus.
All right, you see Kreefus kind of, sitting there looking at you all as you kind of take it in. You deal with Rial. He comes up, Divit, you feel his arm kind of slide over your shoulder, and he just looks down at you. You feel like, even though he knows you're powerful, Divit, he is condescending to you. He feels stronger than you. He, he kind of wraps his arm around you, and you feel the living chain just kind of like a snake slithering on your neck a little bit, just to remind you that it's there. And he said, and he leans in and he's like, remember, they have to be our prisoners, and they have to believe it.
I reach into his chains and I pull out some manacles or whatever. And I start walking over to Bruenor.
Whoa.
And I'm like, hey.
What are you doing?
Bro.
Divot.
Bro.
I'm just like, remember I said trust me.
Oh, because of
right?
All right, okay.
So Bruenor in this moment is like, okay, on this journey that she's been on, like she's had to kind of get over her like racism of dragons, because her big thick wiggly boy became part dragon, so she had to do that. She's had to like overcome all these crazy fears and then like realizations and then be inside of a motherfucking Kraken, which is like the thing of her nightmares. The ocean is big. The Kraken ain't the only big thing down there, y'all. Like, the ocean be big. There's lots of shit that happened underwater, like through the affairs of everything underwater that like land people know nothing about, So like, this is just a nightmare for me. But I'm like, okay, if I can get over this, I can trust one of my very best friends. And so like, she just kind of at first she's like, no, and then she just goes.
All right, 2 things. I cuff you up, and while I'm doing that, I want to slide up, hand you the key. While I'm doing that, I'd like to be saying to the group, There's no room to budge on this. Bruenor has to be locked up. And anybody who has a problem with that has to also. But if everybody's cool, then we're good.
All right, Divot, give me a sleight of hand.
Oh. Come on, first roll.
Okay, no big deal.
You see, you kind of, Divot, you've had your own plans, as far as like how much you were going to let whatever you and Kreefus talked about play out.
Choo-wee.
Okay.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So,
I don't even realize the key's there until I have it in my hand. I'm like, whoa, oh, cool.
yeah, make a dex check.
yeah.
No, you drop it. Oh, shit. No. Yes, no, you're not wrong. Bruenor, he doesn't as much set it in your hand as like slip it into your glove. And you just kind of feel something in your hand. You look down, you're like, that's slimy. And Divot, you're an extremely dexterous, tricky man. So I'm going to say in this case right now, so far, Kreefus buys that Bruenor is, he's going to do an insight check. All right? Because it's like, in fact, Divot, give me a deception check. Because you are trying to deceive him right now. And he's trying to...
I certainly don't want him to know that she has a key. Yeah.
Guys, he rolled a 1.
Oh. Nice.
Oh, Captain Shit Crit.
Shit crit.
All right. And you got a dirty 20. Yeah, I think you won. So here's the... Divot, you kind of feel that the Kreefus isn't buying. You need to sell it a little more. That it's like that this is going too easy right now.
All right, so I turn to Thoricus and I'm like, go ahead and take her downstairs.
What?
Wait, Tigger. I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with the layout of this ship. Where is downstairs? And
That's a good point, Thoricus. You look around. There's no hatch or anything to go down. Remember, there's no doors on that weird, top cabin anywhere. So it is kind of like,
I mean, I'll do it. I'm not opposed to it.
So then I call Thoricus over to me and Kreefus, and I'm like, look,
Yeah.
we all know this is all a formality right now, but we have to keep up appearances in front of the crew, okay? Right?
Yeah.
you see Kreefus, kind of looking around at you guys. But again, he rolled just so poorly on his insight check. He's like, yeah, that's right. I'm Cap. You see, he's just so prideful. He's like, man, I'm really good at this. So he turns. He's like, well, the Ferocious Five standing on my ship. And you see he steps over, and he stops and he looks at Toko. Toko's standing there. And he's like, and you? Which one are you? You see Toko kind of standing there, like looking at all you guys, and he can't help but stare right at you, Thoricus. Like he's a little worried, he's a little nervous, and he's just like looking you in the eyes. And you see Kreefus notices. Turns back and he looks. He's like, all right, Divot, if you trust him, I don't. He slides his arm over Toko, and you see Toko like getting ready to swing at him, and you see he's like, just to make sure my new employee, and he looks at you, Thoricus, stays true to his word. You're coming with me. You see he waves his hand, and that one little cabin area, with no windows or no doors, you see the wood just splits open. You see inside is like a captain's quarters, all kinds of maps and compasses of all kinds, bounty posters galore. You see quite a bit of coin in there as well. Like fancy leather bags of coins from all kinds of different regions. Even just at a glance, you can tell like they work all over the world. And, you see the lavish kind of bed quarters and everything as he kind of just like slides a chain around Toko and starts taking him that way. He stops just before he enters the cabin and he turns back and he's like, to the quarters then. You see he waves his hand. Make whoever has the highest perception. It might be well, Rial's a little woozy. So whoever wants to make the perception roll. Let's see if you notice a little detail. You see he waves his hand to kind of make the wood split.
Let's see.
I was gonna say, do you? Well,
Man, to be
definitely-
clear,
yeah.
the thing that I said in front of Creepus and Thoricus, I was trying to say it like just to Thoricus. I realized, like in hindsight, it sounds like I was like, "Hey, don't tell him about the plan." just to be clear.
Right.
No, like I said,
I
that's
don't always say it. My bad.
So Rial, again, you kind of like, you're still kind of woozy from your fainting. You see the same as described. He gestures to the planks of the board in the wood and then just kind of opens, and you see a staircase just kind of carves itself in real time as the wood kind of bends and creates a wood staircase that goes down to to whatever crew quarters may lie below. Thoricus, you're standing there, and as you kind of look around, Captain Creepus is still just kind of looking at all of you guys, trying to gauge it in. He doesn't seem to be too nervous. It's like obviously he's aware that at any time he can be double crossed, but he still seems pretty confident in his position right now. You see Toko kind of looking at you as he sits down, in this little chair on the other side of the room. He sticks out like a sore thumb against like this lavish, Captain Creepus, kind of a prideful, boastful man. He's got all kinds of like pretty bags and poppets and things all over the inside of his office, very lavish in color. And you see Creepus standing there kind of in his yellow jacket looking back at you guys, and he's like, "We'll reach Elmira by dawn." He looks at you, Bruenor. "You best put your best on." You see he waves his fingers and the captain's doors close behind him. You're all kind of aware of the presence of all these spirits working around you, but the fact that you can't see them just sits ominously in your stomach. You see the throat and larynx of this massive creature, that the boat is basically just sitting inside of its mouth. You see it just kind of like breathing in and out, as it now is breathing underwater. But then something kind of crazy happens. It's as if, like if you were inside Predator, when Predator went into his like invisible mode, you see as the electric blue walls and the dark purple insides of this creature suddenly become translucent. And you can see out of it, and you can only imagine somebody like looking in would be able to see you. You can still see the ship, you can still see each other, but this may also solve a great riddle of why no one could ever find the Kraken when going looking for him. You basically see as his electric blue skin becomes translucent, and now you're just flying through the ocean faster than the massive sailboat with all ships set to go. The coursing power of this primordial magic is hurling you through the ocean. But there you stand. This strange living staircase before you. Thoricus, you're holding on to Bruenor as her hands are manacled in front of you. Divit, you're there. Rial still kind of on the ground, held by Tynna. What do you guys do?
When Creepus goes into his cabin, I go, "Joke's on you! These are the only clothes I have!"
The wood doesn't move.
While Creepus is walking away with Toko, to Thoricus, mentally I'm like, they were never gonna stop hunting her. They have to take her to her sister. I figure we should use them as much as possible.
Yeah, that checks out. I like that.
So Divit, it almost as if the ship is speaking to you. You kind of know the layout of this ship now. It's like after your bargain was struck with Creepus, it's like coming to a house that you used to live in. Like you just kind of know where the kitchen is, the bathrooms are, but yeah, it's like suddenly as you kind of start walking down the stairs leading them down, again, keenly aware of a lot of these spirits around you that you can only imagine are working down here as well. You kind of start leading him toward where like the prison, the cell would be, like near the back of the ship.
The brig.
The brig.
The brig.
You know the word.
I'm a seaman.
Fucking sailor is what you are.
Don't touch me. I'm mad at you right now.
I am playing the part.
You're playing a fart.
Ha, nailed it.
And
All right, so you guys are kind of walking through the ship. You see, around you, you're kind of looking around. As far as like ship's quarters go, you would expect there to be more like living things. Like there's not a lot of like beds or even barely hammocks or anything. You do see, as you kind of look around one corner, there's just this like area that has like 25 identical black robes to what you saw Moody Black take over. Like it's like in The Simpsons when Bart opens the closet and it's just all of his own clothes. It's like that. Like you just see like, well, that's probably where Moody hangs out. You see just kind of, you kind of look around the quarters. Again, not many like creature comforts, but rather just, again, little stacks of bounty posters. You see some with peoples with their faces crossed out. You see Bruenor, one of your own, like the same one that you saw through the scrying pools. You see it's just kind of posted up on one of the walls. And you see everybody's just been like throwing darts and stuff at it. So there's like a few darts just stuck in on your face as you're walking.
How's Brian doing? I want to do a temperature check on Brian.
So yeah, Brian's just kind of, again, like in this whole
Keeping
thing,
a low
just
profile.
Yeah, just hanging low. He wouldn't let you get too far away from him, so he's just kind of moving down this ship as well. He has seemed keenly like uncomfortable since you guys entered the water outside of Emerella. It's like something with him. You guys reconnected. You had that bond, and it's like he's been like overtly anxious as you guys have kind of proceeded down this path. And now is no different. He doesn't like seeing you in chains. But so far, nobody said that he can't like go with you. So he's, just doing that. He's just following you as Thoricus and Divit kind of lead you through the ship. You get to the back area and you see, just kind of a basic, like a pretty shanty little brig. Living ironwood is the style of wood Rial. You know it in an instant. This wood that's just as strong as any iron. And you see it makes up the borders of the cell. But there's like a little bedroll with some straw in it. And yeah, that's, you guys kind of walk into the brig area. Divit, they expect that, that was part of your arrangement, was that Bruenor be prisoner. And so that you guys have kind of reached that point.
Yeah, I'd like to have a sit down with Creepus and the non-locked up members of the group. And I'd like to basically ask Creepus, how long do we have until we get there, right?
So real quick, because you would have like Creepus is up in the kind of captain's quarter area, so you have to go back upstairs. Do you want to lock Bruenor up and then just kind of call a committee upstairs?
Well, I guess if we have a moment to all of us kind of right now.
Yeah, other than, again, there's like spirits around you. You have no idea what they're doing, but there is a crew to this ship that you now have seen.
So Bruenor, I went over Creepus's contract with him, and it was written by a buffoon. All he has to do is deliver you. So
anything that happens after that is free game.
We don't have to make enemies of these things.
No, I get that. They are strictly enemies for hire, right? Like, otherwise they're real chill people. I mean, seriously, like there's a reason why they're so hot. They're way fun to hang out with when they're not being paid to kill you. Is there any other offer that we can give him?
Well, I'm in their favor now, but I will tell you, I did agree to join them for the rest of my days.
What? Oh. So
Does that mean that we're not gonna adventure together anymore?
No. I mean, I don't have a lot of time left either way.
I mean, that's true.
And
That is true. Divit played a little shady, and this was through our discussion in character, and he got, maybe played a little word game on me, which was fun. But yes, Divit, who is running out of time to have his life, the revenant side of him, the deal he's made with death, is on an expiring timeline. But where Creepus thought he was getting perhaps an immortal agent of death for the rest of his existence, he is in fact getting the rest of Divit's body's life as a member of the Drowned Hounds. As much or as little of that as Divit chooses to reveal to you guys is between him and you. But that is the case in this. Divit is a member of the Drowned Hounds.
Cool.
Look, I'm just saying, guys, there's no sense in taking a fist to a knife fight. I say we take a Kracken to a knife fight.
Yeah. So this thing's on our side?
Okay.
It's not on our side. It put us in the mouth, but it didn't swallow.
You got a good point.
What if we can solidify them being on our side by offering them something else incredible?
What do they want?
Power.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds very familiar, and sounds like that would be a really epic experience to have two world-renowned adventurer types fighting over one item. That's all I'm saying.
We've got a lot of people on our short list that are due a visit. We got Trenna Buck, your sister.
Mm-hmm.
Why not have some company? Meet some new friends, you know.
Yeah. I like help.
Divit, does that mean you're not going to be with us in Elmira?
No, I'll be there. Don't tell this guy, but who knows?
Dope.
And I'm like, all right, be serious.
All right.
And I turn around and walk away like, and I'm like trying to do like a pirate walk or whatever.
You see, like, a spirit was eavesdropping, and he was like, well, I thought something was up, but then he walked away real confidently, so
Like
back to spirit work.
As they leave me in the brig, I'm gonna like yell very typical things that I would be like, "You're never gonna live this down, Divit. I'm gonna get you for this."
As you all, again, Divit, you said you're kind of going up toward Captain Creefus, right? You guys, headed back kind of the way you came. You notice Brian does not leave. He's not in the cage with Bruenor, but he like just kind of curls up and you see him settle down. And, Brian often, the puppy dog face, the soft round eyes and the happy smile, anything but in this moment. You see kind of the dragon blood that runs through his body now, the Dracodile form that he takes. You see kind of the killer eyes as he looks around, like at a moment's notice, ready to get a little buck wild and get Bruenor out of here. But the rest of you guys, as you kind of walk away looking back over, Bruenor, you're just kind of sitting there. You look over, there's Uranus, there's two cells in this basically in this little area. You look over in the other one and there's just kind of scattered bones, just like littered all around the cell next to you. You're just kind of looking around. It's like, is this, obvious signs of torture. People, there's buckets of questionable nature nearby. You're not the first prisoner to be on this brig, but you can't help but kind of feel that feeling in your stomach, and you're reminded almost as if in a dream, as you kind of look around, you feel the speed of the movement through the water right now. You feel that, as you sailed away from Elmira, content to return and, expunge the shadow dragon Exonius, you now are returning back from whence you came. And that connection between, the you of before and the you of now is just kind of overwhelming as you sit inside of this primordial beast.
Yeah, I'm also kind of like sitting there for a moment where there's actual peace, to like start trying to put together the pieces. Like, okay, so they're in a boat that like I have some connection to that belongs to my family. Why would they use that? Okay, and then hearing about Exonius and its bride, my sister, like that was something that came up too. And so I'm just trying to put together all the pieces of being, having a bounty on my head and seeing that poster when I walked by, So I'm just having an actual moment of silence to myself to like maybe try putting some pieces together.
You're kind of, you're like doing the math. You're even like, you just like take a stick and you're kind of like drawing little shapes of people in the dirt. Like, okay, so we've got. And then
she just that.
And you see Brian, again, not even really like connecting or like looking to you. He's just looking out for oncoming danger. It's like he's aware of these spirits that are around him too, but he can't see him. But it's like It's like it's giving him the heebies.
Not just not that, but Brian is also going back to the ocean. He and I both kind of are like, nah, with that. He was just as nah as I was. He's got his own drama, so he's just like, no, I don't want to go back either.
Yeah, you're sitting there, Bruenor. You can't help but kind of sit like that memory. You remember when you were looking through the scrying stones, and almost from your own memory, seeing the ivory towers of Elmira, and then as that that sea rain shifted to the ash and the wisps of shadow that would course through the streets, almost like an old cold wind, rattling the boards of the streets and everything. The vision that you saw, the swirling black shadow, that just kind of overwhelmed the city, the form of Exonius before you. You kind of start feeling in that in between place, like where you're not quite dreaming, not quite awake, similar to the like when you long rest, like your 4-hour little meditation. That's kind of what happens. It's like as you kind of see that, you kind of zone into yours. This part of the mechanic will serve as a long rest for everybody. But we'll just kind of continue on. Bruenor, is you and Brian just kind of focus on returning from whence you came. We go over the living wood steps that go back up to the captain's quarter. You guys kind of just knock on the wood wall and it splits open. You see Kreefus has taken his jacket off, right? He's just like sitting there, like ripped abs, piercings all over him, nipples right in the chest. He's got scars and cuts all over him. And these living chains, just like that dude in the bungalow, like a couple snakes just writhing all over his body. You see his captain's hat is down and his hair hangs over his face. You see he's just kind of laughing as he has Toko suspended in chains in front of him. He's just like sitting back, and some of the chains have run off and are just like holding Toko to this chair. And he's just kind of just laughing, enjoying himself. And he's like, come in. You see the door opens. He kind of looks over at you all. She in a cell, Divit. Did you put her away?
I look at him and I'm like, fuck. Yeah. She's boxed up.
Good. He looks over to Thoricus and he's like, good to see you can do what you're told, dwarf. Well, have you thought about it? You want to be a member of the Hounds? Swear your fealty to me. Join the team like the lightning dodger. We could tell a hell of a tale together. What do you think?
I would love to. I 100% don't want to punch you right in the fucking face right now.
Oh no, that's good.
Can I give an inspiration, a bardic inspiration to my man Thoricus?
Oh yeah.
At this moment.
Yes. You feel a D6 extra fighting your instinct to attack him. Yeah, you get a D6 to use whenever you want an ability check or saving throw.
Hell yeah.
So you see Kreefus kind of just looking around. He's like, I gotta say, I thought this would be harder.
That's what she said.
You son of a bitch. I thought you'd put up a bit more of a fight. I've heard great things about you. Heard the songs they sing. And I have to admit, they're pretty catchy.
Right?
The deal that we sign lasts forever. Till the end of your days.
Oh, yeah.
You sign with me. You follow my orders. You do what I say. And he slides this like scroll and parchment across the table. It like the wood around it kind of hums with this magical energy. There's a spectral bargain involved in the signing of this contract. No mere piece of wood. Go ahead, Divit.
I send him a mental message for the name that he should use on the contract. Bill McCracken.
For Captain Kreefus, I'd be happy to sign that. Just please his punch.
Ah, yes. The great Stone Reaver. I bet you will cut through many of my enemies. Go ahead, Stone Reaver. Sign the contract. What do you sign, Thoricus?
Oh man, I need a coin or something. Divit, do a coin thing for me.
No.
No.
Nice.
The coin said no.
I
He
was
did
like,
flip the coin. He was like, no, I'm not flipping
You
a
want a
coin.
heads or
there
tails?
was 2 options, and you just said no. So I was like, just fuck everything. Just turn around and see if you can walk away from this. Like, what?
All right, you want an A or B kind of deal?
Right.
Okay. A.
Okay. Well, Phil McCracken it is. Ugh.
All right, you see, as you write your joke out, we kind of shift back over to you, Bruenor, sitting in the cell, kind of, again, feeling that swelling call, seeing the ash falling down as you're kind of like in this dream fugue state. So you're just kind of looking. Suddenly, it's like there's the strange black whirls of smoke and shadow that you see in your image. It's almost like you can start smelling them. And then the smell of smoke kind of turns, and it starts to smell like a cigar. It kind of starts shaking you out of your trance a little bit as you're like looking around. You look down, and in the cell next to you, a skeleton head has just rolled over and placed itself against the wall. And you see an arm bone and a hand, not necessarily matching, and the hand is holding a cigar. You see this great cloud of cigar smoke blow out of the skeleton's mouth, and he's like,
Oh, hello, Bruenor. It is good to meet you at last. Allow me to introduce myself.
and then you see a couple bones like roll over from the other side of the room, and a second arm pops up.
I'm Dr. Gast.
Takes a big draw on the cigar smoke and blows it out at you. We shift back up into the captain's quarters, and you see Captain Creefus looking down at the parchment. He looks back up at you, Thoricus, and you see that the contract doesn't imbue because you have not actually signed your mark. You see the look in his eyes shifts to darkness.
You want to joke with me? You think you can get away with your little tricks? You think you're all so damn clever? Well, don't fuck with me!
And you see the chains that are holding up Toko shoot out and then plunge into his chest. And you see this chain start forcing its way into his body. And the chains that hold him up against the wall start unraveling as the entire length forces its way into the chest cavity of Toko the Hatchet. You see his eyes bulbing, his mouth unable to breathe. He starts convulsing in front of you, and that's where we're gonna pick it up after intermission, guys.
I'm actually quitting the show now, so I'm not coming back. It's been fun, guys. It's been real fun.
That was it. Aw.
He didn't die. He's not dead.
It's the chain that broke the Toko's back.
No, his soul is dead.
All right, guys. We do us a 10-minute intermission so that we can go hydrate. Make sure you're filling up your water glasses and drinking throughout. Make sure you get your pee on and enjoy all of this incredible artwork. New time lapses, new art, new music. Holy crap, dudes, check this thing out. There has been some incredible submissions recently, and I cannot stop thanking all of these incredible artists for all the amazing stuff they do, like this music, the art, the setting. Vlad, Sean, Jake, Sandy, the Ed, there's a countless amount of insanely talented creative people who help us kind of build the visual identity of this show, and it is amazing, and we love them, and I can't wait to get back. So give me 10 minutes, guys. We're gonna do a little battle royale. Have your little fellas kill each other if you're joining us on Twitch. If you're on YouTube, hey, what's up? It's got to be after Friday at 4:20 because that's when we drop this on YouTube. You know what? You're right. I like it. We got the WeeD lighters. Let's go lighters up to intermission, guys. We'll catch you on the other side of intermission. But let's go lighters up. Intermission. welcome back, buds, to WeeDnD, the pot positive live tabletop role-playing experience. I hope you loved all that incredible stuff. Holy shit, big shout out to Jake with the new time lapse, our man Toko. The guy currently being force-fed some chains, you can see art of him. Speaking of that, I mean, heck, why don't we jump back in? You know, you guys are still standing inside the captain's deck of the Queen Anne. You know, looking around at the kind of magical the wood that emanates all around this cabin, the lavish colors and pageantry of this rather flamboyant individual. You know, Kreefus normally wearing his long, you know, yellow jacket, yellow captain's hat with big vibrant plumes of feathers on the top, his big yellow boots, like he's not exactly trying not to stick out. In this moment, he still stands kind of on the other side of the table, you know, that he passed the contract that you kind of jokingly signed Phil McCracken. You know, he seems angry at this slight. You know, you hear the sound of the living chains, those disembodied from him, the ones that were holding up Toko against this chair, start force feeding themselves into his chest. You know, Thoricus, he sees you, you know, pretty quickly start grinding towards your axe. And he's like, hold now, Stone Reaver. You see one of the chains goes and picks up one of these strange bottles. You see kind of a translucent golden liquid inside as he pops the top off of it and it floats over. You've seen him before, but this is an extremely powerful healing potion. He pours it on top of Toko, who, you see the wounds heal around the chains in his chest. And he's sitting there just like gasping for air in front of him. You see Toko kind of smiles, his sinister, you know, his slick little mustache and sinister smile. He looks at you and he's like, I can do this all day. You have your fun. I have mine. And you see, just kind of gestures over to a couple other healing potions, you know, chilling in this captain's chamber. And so he's like, dude, I can torture Toko. I can just keep bringing him back. You know what I mean? It's like, clear, you ain't the only one who can bring people back. And so he's just kind of toying with Toko in front of you. You know, he could have killed Toko. So it's, you know, the stakes with this guy are as such. But you're standing around the room and he looks at you. You see, he looks at you all. He looks at, you know, the pale-skinned Rial, still a little woozy from his fainting. You see, he kind of just looks down on Tynna just by nature. Like, he just looks at you with, like, a little bit of disdain as he looks down on your halfling frame. He looks at Thoricus after this little moment. He saw the concern in your eyes, you know, and he's like, maybe you don't have the guts to be hounds. What do you think, Divit? Is there a good one in the whole lot? You see, he kind of wraps up the parchment that he had offered you and tucks it back in his sleeve.
I cross around to him and look at the piece of paper that said Phil McCracken. And as my finger runs across it, I say it out loud. And I want to cast Hideous Laughter.
Okay.
I wanted to get under his skin. How funny it is.
What kind of save is it, Divit? Is it Divit? That's fun to say.
DC 18? God damn.
It's a wisdom save.
Wisdom. All right, he has +3 to that. That is one of his better ones. Here we go. Bam, bam. He got a 6. So we rolled a 3. All right, yeah, Divot, you see, you know, again, this is a hostile act. You do cast a spell, but you kind of, you know, with your bardic flair, bring to life like the power of this joke, you know, the Phil McCracken. You know, you see he starts and he buckles over, and falls on the ground. You see the chains kind of, you know, as Toko's like vomiting chains out of his throat on the wall, as both him and Toko kind of curled up in laughter on the ground. And then you hear the strangest sound you've ever heard.
Oh, God.
The echoing, booming laughter of a kraken when you're inside of it. Divot, you know your joke landed huge with the kraken. You just feel the walls of the very ship that you're in shaking at the tremendous laughter. And you just kind of hear in all of your minds like...
Oh shit. So while everybody's laughing, I look at Thoricus and I look at Kreefus and I'm like,
is that the signal?
Now or never, man!
Oh shit, all right. Dope, yeah. Yeah, he is, all right, so he's currently he's incapacitated. So he's unable to stand up. He's just laughing, curled over on the ground in front of you. What do you guys do?
Well, I mean,
I cast banishment on him, so we have a second to discuss.
All right, cast it real quick, because I'm not sure. I think it works on anybody, but if he's from this plane, he's just gone for like a minute, I think is how that works. He does get to make a saving throw. So yeah, let's see here. Charisma save to be banished.
Smoothie.
So it is native to this plane, so it just goes to some harmless demi-plane. I love that wording.
Some random. I'll send it to the Glorp plane if I can control it.
You're like, hello!
Just confuse them. Okay.
He's gonna be so. All right, we are ruling this as canon. A harmless demi-plane is Glorp's. you can, if they're from this plane, they go see Glorp. All right, Tynna, he does get a saving throw, charisma save. What's your spell save DC? I think it's 16, but I might be wrong.
I'll double check that for ya. Yeah, 16.
All right, he does. We got +2 to this. He rolled a 2. Man, he is not doing good on his saving throws.
I don't know. Go visit Glorp for a sec.
As he's laughing on the ground, almost to like just shut everybody up. You hear the booming laughter of everything, and it's like, okay. He disappears. You know that you have 1 minute starting now.
Divit, what the hell is going on?
I pledged my allegiance to the hounds, not to this asshole. Part of the ship, part of the crew. Let's take this fucking boat.
I'm all about it. Fuck this guy up.
It is Bruenor's birthright. It will be ours.
You just told her to come up here. You gave her the key, right? Like, just tell her to unlock the cuffs and the cage and come on up and just join us. And when this guy comes back from the fucking Glorp dimension,
That's the plan. We're gonna snag up on this
the
guy.
shit out of him as soon as he comes back. Just be like,
Rial, you look good. You have abs. You could be this guy. Let's fucking kill him and dress you up like him.
hell yes.
I'm honored. I'm honored. And I hit disguise self and turn into Captain Kreefus.
It's already done, guys.
There we go. Wait, are you
He's
gonna beat him up dressed as him?
Of course.
Okay, good.
Oh yeah, you see his jacket is laying on the chair next to you. Like you remember he was shirtless.
Oh yeah.
And right now, as you slide your arms into his jacket, he appears back on the ground in front of you. What the is up, down, and left, right? Then what is left, down? You see he's like super confused. You see he's still kind of like weird from the spinning nature of the plane of confusion by that he was sent to. And he's looking around, and suddenly he looks forward, and he sees himself looking back at him, but wearing his jacket. You see the chains. What the hell is this? What is it you're on about?
What the hell is this? What are you on about?
Wait a minute.
Wait a
Hey,
minute.
you signed a deal.
You signed a deal.
Sir, stop that!
Stop that!
No, you're being childish. Divot.
It's childish.
We have, and you see he starts reaching around. He's like, we signed a deal, a contract.
Signed a deal, a contract.
And then I say, Bill McCracken.
You see the Kraken once more. Just man, it doesn't get old of this guy. Shakes the entire the entity of the ship as you're all kind of sitting there. Kreefus is about to do something. So is anybody doing anything?
Did that message go to Bruenor to come up to the Lido deck?
Lido deck.
Wait,
I'll hit him. Man, if I'm allowed to do something else, I'll hit him with Dissonant Whisper.
Yeah, you see, basically like this, whoever you got first Divot, so you were kind of like prepared for him to be cagey. But at this point, casting banishment on him, you guys are fighting him. So we, yeah. All right, so he gets, you kind of cast upon the warlock side of your power this time, getting him to make a wisdom saving throw. Let's see if this dude can make a saving throw for the life of him. +3 to this. Here we go. All right, 16 + 3, 19. I think you have an 18.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on a failed save, it still takes 3d6 psychic damage and must immediately use its reaction. Okay, so wait, on a failed save. He passed the save. I'm done. On a successful save, it takes half as much damage and doesn't have to move. So yeah, do 3d6, which is, I don't think it rolled. Did it roll? Oh, it did. You got a 6, and he gets half. So he takes 3 damage. Let me, here, I'll just...
While he's doing that, while I'm in his guise, can I throw a double dose of hideous laughter at him?
Yeah, well, actually, we'll roll initiative after the first blast of Dissonant Whisper. So he takes 3 damage, and he, sorry. All right.
I wanted him to be afraid of himself.
Why was I not more ready for you guys to kill this guy?
I don't think he's ready for it either.
Are you ever?
All right, cool. So everybody in the room, so that's everybody except Bruenor, go ahead and roll initiative.
Okay.
Hold on, let me get the initiative tracker up. Let me clear it. I lied. I wasn't ready at all. Remove all turns. Clear that. There we go. I don't think I have your tokens in here. You know what? Just for ease, I'm going to drop us in the other map where our tokens were. Boop. Oh, wait. Did our tokens just go? No, they're there.
No, they're at the bottom.
There we go. Yeah, just select your token and roll initiative on that. I'm gonna... Ooh, nice. Here is his...
I cannot find my
6.
token.
Dude, what is with this dude's rolls? All right, the ever slow. I think so far, Tynna, you tied. What's your dex?
Scooby-da-bow. Wait, plus 2?
All right, yeah. So you have for 14.
No, sorry, plus 3.
Okay, yeah. So you beat him. So all of you go before he gets to go, which doesn't bode well for him, just as like a person. Yeah.
Just
there
wailing on him.
All right, so let me set this descending. All right, you guys, here we go. Again, I apologize. I didn't have a map ready for this, so I'm just going to bring him over here by you guys. There's no Brian here, and there's no Bruenor. You guys, like I said, you all beat him. So everybody gets a turn. Thoricus, I believe you were first. You see him kind of like laying on the ground. After having been affected by banishment, he's no longer incapacitated. So he is laying on the ground. The chains, start coming to life at the ready. What do you do?
I would like to attack the chains and break those chains that bind my friend.
Break those chains that bind you.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Dude, I almost want to give you advantage for Separate Ways, Worlds Apart.
No need.
Real talk, little bit. I used to be in a show called Raiding the Rock Vault. They played that song every night, and it was like, you would think after hearing that song like 200 times that you wouldn't still just be like, but dude, every night. That and Stairway to Heaven. I heard it every night by friggin' the guitarist from Doug Aldrich from Whitesnake. And dude, it was just like one of the best jobs I ever had. It was so good. Sorry. You got me with Separate Ways, Worlds Apart, you bastard. All right.
I do.
So I'm sorry, he has a 16 AC.
Okay, so
or no,
only 2
you're
of those
attacking the
hit.
chains, correct? You're trying to kill the chains?
Right.
Yeah, so they share an AC, so it's 16. It looks like you got 2 hits. Ooh, 27 damage. Thoricus, kind of a smart move on your part. You've kind of noticed now by the ability for them to go away from him and hold up Toko. Again, that like tactician's mind. It's like, wait, are these one and the same, or like that barrel guy? Is it like there's the barrel and then the wispy spirit essence that's a part of him? So you rather than slashing at the skin and flesh of Captain Creefus, standing there in his like Brad Pitt from Fight Club abs glory.
Smoke show. But
just a total smoke show, bro. You see him just kind of like laying there. You start ripping into him. So, 27. So you attack the chain rather than he, and you do land true, and the chain does indeed have its own set of hit points. So The 17 damage, you know you've done that. If a chain could bleed, it'd be bleeding. So you have, especially with your magical weapon, have cut through any hardness that the item may have had. So Thoricus, you jump in, start slashing at the chains. Divit, I think you had a 21. I don't know why it's not on the initiative order, or a 20. But Thoricus, after your slashes, you see Kreefus like shit. Like he had thought of a lot of things, but not necessarily this. So, again, you might want to dispatch him before he has a turn. All right. So yeah, Divit, go ahead.
Message to Bruenor again. I know I asked that before.
Oh, what's that?
I tried to. I don't know how far my message goes, but I was like, Bruenor!
Yeah, what is the range?
I was like, unlock the things and come up and fuck this guy up with us.
Honestly, I think it's only something like 60 feet. I don't think it's like crazy. Without having it right in front of me, unless you have access to the range, let's just say it doesn't necessarily. You know what? No, because it's just the ship. I'm thinking of like the Kracken, 300 feet. Honestly, that ship, that's about right. Let's say it's 100 feet. We'll go back and double check later. I apologize, but just for the sake of speed, let's call it 100 feet. Yes, you can. Divit, your turn starts. You can send a 6-second message to Bruenor. What do you say?
I'm like, the key is to make it. Now
Bruenor.
The key is the bacon?
Bruenor, go ahead and roll initiative.
Damn it, I was real stoked. I was stoked that I didn't.
Not necessarily that you're in the combat. I just we might just go to your scene at this point in the.
That's why. This is why.
Yeah. What are you talking about? It's an excuse to smoke.
Oh god. We'll get there.
An excuse, he says, chain smoking through the whole show. All right.
It's like fighting with you. I mean, not with you, but alongside you.
Worry not, Bruenor. After Kreefus goes, you shall go. All right. We jump back over. So Divit, that was just sending the message in like the narrative moment before your turn in combat. So what do you do with your turn?
Okay. Shit. I realize this guy's a pretty heavy hitter, right? So I am not gonna risk rolling poorly on a spell. I'm gonna cool breeze him.
Nice. All right, yeah, give him the cool breeze, makes him feel fine. Yeah, you see the ice blight, now renamed the cool breeze, granted you by Glacius. You start kind of going at him, and you see one of the chains just wraps around the edge of your sword, and if you go to push it into him, you see some of the chains get all frosty and everything, but it doesn't seem like it, that they took the damage.
Word. That sucks.
You see Kreefus looks at you dead in the eyes, Divit. He is pretty pissed off at you right now.
Oh, really?
In fact, you feel the ship itself seems to kind of be groaning a little bit under your feet. You're like, I'm pretty sure if I'm being a stickler, all the verbiage of what I'm doing is allowed. But,
all right. Oh, my bad.
No,
I want to throw a hex on him. So I look at him and I just speak his name backwards, and I'm like, who's that?
How about sapphire hex or desperate? Yes, you throw the hex on. There's no save on that. What ability modifier do you want to hex?
I want to mess with his wisdom.
Sweet. So any ability checks made with wisdom would be at a penalty. Disadvantage, I'm sorry. All right, sweet. So yeah, you put your hex on him, you kind of call upon that. Divit, you're no stranger to this beating acorn that it's like, again, you're getting closer and closer at a very fast speed to another big giant source of that dark energy that you get whenever you consume one of the essences of synthesis. You can't help but again hear the beating of the heartbeat coming from the ribs of Rial not too far away from you. A hunger you're constantly pushing back. Everything in your being tells you to to kill Rial, considering he is in fact technically part of synthesis. And so it's like it's harder and harder as you kind of feel this energy, perhaps why your strike was not so true as to throw you off, but you call upon all that dark energy to bestow your hex upon Captain Kreefus. You see he looks at you and he's like, I'm no stranger to hexes and curses, boy. You will regret everything you're doing. But it's not his turn. Rial, what do you do?
Well,
Captain
since
Kreefus.
I'm in the guise of Captain Kreefus, I'd like to look at him. Their song's not done yet, but we're lucky to be part of the chorus. And grab one of the chains, wrap it around his neck, and cast Shocking Grasp.
Dope. Yeah, that's super dope. All right, yeah, give me a Shocking Grasp. I believe it's a spell attack, not a saving throw.
Oh, thank you. Right, 1 second.
You know, I try. I even, you know what? I actually said the other day, I was like, it's been too long since I like read the DMG, and I'm like, I gotta read that again. It's such a good, highly recommend the DMG. People talk it off, but it's a really good resource. That's the Dungeon Master's Guide. Ooh. You're welcome, wizards.
Wow.
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 All right, the right now you do. I mean, you would have advantage because you guys are all kind of just flanked around him. Unfortunately, it still didn't really. It wasn't enough. You grab those chains, and similarly to like why Thoricus attacked them, you see it's like you're like if you had grabbed a non-living chain and wrapped it around, it should have worked. But as you grab the chains and go to move them, you realize Kreefus isn't necessarily like making them do this. They are responding of their own will, and so they reach up and grab you. You cast the electricity into them, but not being in contact with flesh, the energy is just dissipated through the metal.
Well, shit. Sometimes it be that way. Well,
Sometimes it do be like that.
Disengage, but like keeping with his cocky presence. You're better than I thought, but let's see what happens. And then I want to sit in his chair.
Dope. Oh, what an insult. You made me mad. Like, I'm just like, oh, you son of a bitch. I bet you look dope, too. You got all the same nipple chains and shit. All right, yeah. So dope. You just, exactly as you saw him when you walked in, you're just kicked over. His sweet duster kind of drops down again, just like Ryan Reynolds in Blade 3 level abs, just like glitz, just like glow, 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 as you just like lean back on this super comfortable fabric. Sorry, it's getting a little hot in the studio.
You can't hit me with them Blade Trinity ab.
Oh man, there's two of you in there. Look out.
Those chains fitting to get seduced.
All right, Tynna, it's like you feel the heat just coming off of these, just like 12 in total packs of abs, just glistening on either side of this moment. You're all standing, in this captain's chamber. You've banished him once. You see him now back. You kind of, it's like you saw everybody kind of back. He seems to be doing all right. Like if the plan was to like kill him before he could do anything, that plan doesn't seem to be going very well. Thank you, dice. So Tynna, what do you do?
Right, so I see how poorly it's been going, and his words of like not strong enough to be in the drowned hounds are still kind of ringing in my ear. So I'm gonna swing my hand axe and say, I'm not strong enough, I'm the bastard daughter of Shred Oldbuck! And then I swing him.
All right, as the axe hurls through the air, it starts glowing because all your attacks have that divine energy too. So you see that like glow of Shantia in your axe as you swing at him. Also, you have advantage because you're flanking. Nice, 24 AC. That's a hit, girl. Nice. All right, yeah. How do you want to slash him? You just want to like plat? Are you attacking the chain or him?
Extra D8 of radiant damage.
Heck yeah,
I think.
you do.
So let me do that real quick.
Ooh, maxi on that, BB. All right, yeah, that's dope. 14
yeah, so
damage.
I just want to like it lands like it hits, and then it just like emanates pure light from him, and like it burns him.
You see him kind of looking down and like, oh god, like it's even a badass has a hard time when he's on the ground in the middle of like 4 people stomping him out. And so again, you know, he's not dead or anything, but you see the radiant energy is like as one of the chains reaches to grab for it. Tynna, you got anything else?
I want to, if I can, I want to take that same energy that's floating, that like energy that's still hot in my hands, and I want to quickly approach Toko and try to like lay hands on him and like direct some goodness into the pain around the chains.
So if you want to use a spell slot, you could actually, because since you only use your attack for your action, you could healing word him if you wanted to use a spell slot. If you want to do just like a medicine check, you know, like a non-spell slot option, you can. It would just be a high DC. But yeah,
no, I'm gonna healing word him.
Perfect. Yeah. All right, so you see, you know, as the healing energy, you know, again, kind of channeling that radiant light that cuts out of the axe. Again, Tynna, it's like, who is this scrub to be like, you don't have what it takes? You know, it's like, it's your Tynna Smoothhands. You're like almost the divine agent of the Green Lady, and you bury your axe glowing with radiant energy into his chest, at the same time channeling this healing magic, never really breaking eyes with him, just throwing it as you stare into him.
Yeah, I throw it right at him, and then the other hand's going to Toko.
And you see the healing word, you know, the ranged bonus action healing spell. Toko gets 7. Again, it's like the last of the chains inside of him through the magical healing from both the potion and your spell. You see he throws up the rest of the chains. You know, you see the magic healing the wounds in his esophagus, you know, ostensibly closing the lungs inside of his chest. You see he's clinging on to life, but he's not in great shape.
That should have also healed him for an extra 6, and then I get a kiss from the Green Lady as well from that too. So hopefully he's a little okay.
Heck yeah. Yeah, you get what? So it's 13 total. So yeah, that's good for him. That definitely rallies him out of being unconscious. You know, the chains now expelled from him. You see them kind of like serpents, just like and start looking around the room like which way they want to go. Do you have anything else, Tynna? Is at the end of your turn?
That's it.
All right, so you see like Kreefus laying there on the ground. He's like looking around. He's got, you know, the glowing radiant axe of Tynna still just held into his chest. He's looking around as Thoricus is like cutting into his chains, and he sees that he's in a bad way. And he turns around and just kind of sits himself up, and he's like, I call upon the life bond of every spirit on this ship. And you see the chains just like start coiling up around him, and you look over in the corner and you just see this big giant gong gets cracked by a floating spectral. Rial, you know it well. It is a invisible mage hand. It is a ledgered mane invisible mage hand that bangs on this gong. You see the vibrational sound waves fill the area around you. You feel the coursing wind as it kind of courses through your body. And when you look back, just as they were revealed through Divit's chant earlier, you see this sonic wave just reveals the spectral crew of the Queen Anne. 25 on the above decks, 25 on the below decks. You know, you kind of, Bruenor, you're sitting in the thing, still kind of ruminating over the message that Divit sent you, the key kind of pressing at the wrist in your thing, and you see Brian suddenly stands up and his wings just start casting out as you hear the gong. And as his wings are spreading, you see he's pushing spirits off of him. He slams them into the living wood deck walls of the base of this thing. Bruenor, you look in front of you and you see 25 spirits. You know, some of them scrubbing the wood, some of them, you know, fitting the things, tending to the various natures of the ship. 25 below, 25 above deck. You know, Bruenor, Kreefus, that's his action. He's done. He's not moving because he's not getting any AOs. But he did just summon the spectral crew of the ship. You also, all of you at the same time, just as we kind of shift over to you, you know, those of you above deck, those of you below, you hear the familiar crows of Moody Black. Kind of all looking around. Bruenor, you sit in the cell. What do you do?
Okay. First,
What's going on with the Skelly Man? What's happening over here?
Yeah, you see Dr. Gas hears the gong. You know, the little skeleton hand with the cigar, and he's like, oh, I thought we would have more time to talk.
Yeah, I also thought the same thing. I was really excited about that.
He's like, I can come with you. And you see his little skeleton head just rolls over, like right between, like, you know, the bars. You could bring him with if you wanted.
Fuck yeah, come here. Fuck yeah, come here.
You see, you kind of just bag the skeleton, and he's like, ah, yes. Oh, you know, Bruenor, you have pockets galore, bags, satchels. You are a person. You have boxes. What storage do you bestow upon this living skull?
Ooh. I like to think that he's in like I want to have him in a satchel that's not gonna like move around too much or anything. So maybe actually he's in like a little backpack type thing so he can face outwards behind me. So he's like, so he can like chat and talk to me, but he's in like a little backpack that
I love it. Yes. Yeah. He absolutely can do that. So yeah, Bruenor, you know, he's like, ah, yes, just take me along for the ride. And you just see like one skeleton hand like dragging itself along the ground, and it like hops up, and Bruenor, you feel like the weird sensation of a hand just like crawling up you. And then you see still smoking a cigar, just blowing the smoke out of the back of your backpack.
Excellent, do your thing. Okay, so in this moment, I'm wondering, and I'm talking out loud because I see everything going on, and I go, I'm wondering if in this moment, because of the ship I'm on, if I should be concerned about any of you spirits, because I kind of motherfucking loses my shit. So I'm wondering if any of you recognize me, or if I shouldn't be talking so loudly.
All right. Bruenor, as these spirits appear, their intent is clearly malicious.
Well,
but you bring up a good point. The as Divit's contract, it's like they've sworn to the fealty to this crew, to this ship. So you know you're holding a piece of that ship.
Literally.
If you want to try something akin to like trying to call them to your side, to like bring them to your, I would allow like a charisma. It would be your action, and however you gild the lily might make it work a little better.
Would it be like persuasion or something?
Yeah,
or?
I like a persuasion. That's a good charisma-based skill. But what do you say to them, depending on how good your pitch is?
Okay. So I'm gonna harken back to. I'm gonna just try to harken back to all my really good, such gooderest speeches. Mm-hmm. And I go, I don't know if I should be afraid of you guys, because you, by my birthright, are chaboys. And I know that the spirit of chillness and excellentness reigns true with every single one of you. So, if I say the words cha, I feel as if you feel them ring through your soul, because it is rooted in the deepest, darkest parts of you. Cha. Cha.
Calling upon the royal cha.
Cha.
Of course you get advantage. Persuasion. Here we go.
Oh my god, it was like that Matthew McConaughey Oscars speech.
All right. you start cha, cha, cha. And no one starts chanting with you. So, Bruenor, you do learn something in this moment. You know, the royal cha, powerful thing, you know, should hold sway if the spirits of the ship swear fealty to Omira. You now know that this ship, your royal lineage, and the spirits that serve on it are not necessarily linked in the way that you might have assumed that they had been. So unfortunately, yes, great idea, but it does fall on deaf ears as you just kind of chaw your way. Now you're still in a locked cage, like you never left. So, that was basically your action, was attempting to turn some of these forces, which was cool as crap, I'm not gonna lie. And like Aragon it and just be like, yeah, we show up now with all the ghosts. But unfortunately, again, the dice hate both you and me tonight, and it just.
And also the thing that happened was like I unlocked my shackles a really long time ago, so I like accidentally separate my hands. I'm like cha cha.
Yeah, no manacles. Ooh.
Yeah, I put them right back on. I'm like, all right. So I don't
All
have
right.
the key to a cell, so.
Yeah, Bruenor, you see as these like creatures kind of start shifting their way down the hallway. Like there's 25 of them coming at you. Brian is kind of posted up as well. He does get a turn on your initiative as well. So whatever you and he do, like I said, you did use your action to basically try to charm the group, but unfortunately it didn't work. You still have bonus action, you still have any other stuff, and Brian's turn as well.
Okay. Man, okay. I was just gonna see if maybe Brian could try also making a speech, but he has surprisingly -3 charisma.
Yeah.
You just wouldn't think that.
You know,
Maybe 'cause he's
it's
scary.
fair that should probably have been adjusted. I would say he has at least a +0. That's an error on my part. That's using the old crocodile stats when they just thought that he was just a crocodile.
Right, they didn't
He's
know.
clearly
They
a
didn't know.
crocodile now.
No.
They didn't know.
They didn't know.
It's fine.
They had no idea what we were gonna do with him.
Well, okay, so there's ghosty ghosts right now.
Yeah, 25 on the bottom deck stand between you and the living staircase that leads up to where your allies are. I do apologize for not having a sweet boat map like I should have
No,
right
that's
now.
totally fine. So
See if I
I
can come up
could
with something in a
hear,
moment.
just because we're just on a boat, I could very clearly hear a ruckus above me. Like, y'all. Crazy. I can hear a ruckus. So I'm getting concerned.
And a gong.
It's and a gong? Somebody banged a gong? Not on my watch. Not with my friends. No. So I just kind of give Brian a little winky woo, and he shoots a breath weapon down the hallway.
Yo, nice. Okay. It's gonna be a bunch of saving throws, I think. Let me just pull up their stats. I'm sorry. Special crew, special crew. I had it in the wrong folder. We're gonna bag it and do that.
I just love the spell description because the ending is he is thick. He is wiggly. He is Brian. He is Brian.
That's all true.
I love him so much.
Me too. God damn it. Look at this.
Take a hit for Brian.
My God. Yeah, hit for Brian.
Brian.
For the Brian man. Yeah.
All right, sweet.
That's amazing.
Jake got me this sticker.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Got you, Gerp.
All right. So yes, you. Let's see what's the save that they get. Sorry about that. DC
You're good, homie. DC 11.
11 con save. I think they have a -1 to their con.
Wah.
Boom. All right, DC 11 though. That's not impossible. Let's see. Maybe somebody can pass the saving throw today. I'm just gonna do the group fail. So this is a 15-foot cone, Bruenor. Let's be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this one breath weapon would kill 6 of the 25 in front of you.
Awesome. Not bad.
You see the
That's
green
cool.
fire blows out of Brian's mouth as his wings, like I said, cast off a couple of them toward the walls. You see the kind of amorphous blob of these spectral spirits just like floating down the hallway in your direction. That's going to be the end of... You got anything else, Bruno, or is that the end of your turn?
Oh man, that's just gonna be the end of my dang old turn, don't you know?
All right. I did this wrong. There we go, Thoricus. You know, you're standing in front of Captain Kreefus laying on the ground, the living chains still kind of writhing all around him. You see the axe wounds from your magical blades that heft into the chains. Those links have not re-healed or anything. Like you did some pretty sustainable damage to it. You also see, you know, beyond where Kreefus lays, the wall is open. You see the entire deck covered in these 25 spectral spirits that all turn around and start kind of pouring toward the captain's deck. What do you do?
May I kick a little something for the G's and just come up with a real slick-ass battle plan? Just kind of bust it out real quick. Be like, Tynna, please throw up spiritual guardians. keep us safe. Spectral shit, don't like what you got. Nail it. Rial, my guy, maybe some fire. I think they don't like that. Maybe think of them as children or someone going to like a Sunday school, and just burn the ever-loving fuck out of them. If you could, please and thank you. Spell Snapper!
Smell snapper.
Love it. Divit, just, I don't know, maybe what, I'm gonna keep hitting this guy, because I seem to be doing okay on that. That, killing shit, it feels pretty good. I know I got a lot of charisma now, but
You're good
I can
at
kill
it.
people like James Bond, make it look a little sexier, I guess, when you commit murder for the government. It's fine. And then we need to, get to Bruenor, because I would like to do that if I can. No, you're, what? I didn't, I really didn't hear.
What are you trying to do?
Oh, I didn't, nothing. I'm gonna put that message out and then just fucking get it. Who in here trying to start a riot?
Oh man, gets me so pumped. So are you attacking Kreefus or the chains, Thoricus?
Chains, baby.
All right. Holy crap, dude. All right, Thoricus. The 25. That does it. So what do you do, Papa Sketty?
Well, after them first couple of cuts, you see, I just like to put it in like a tasty brine, throw it in the oven for a little while, just parboil the motherfuckers, so that when you get the chains out the oven, the fuck just slides right off of the chain, you know what I mean? And everything hurts for everyone involved in that situation except for the cook, who's just chopping shit up, spinny-doo and bakety-bake and, all that. No, but seriously, so yeah, after I hit the chains, I want him to kind of come at me, and then, yeah, just fucking start spinning the ladies and wrap them all up, Sketty style, and then come right back at him and come around and just fucking put one of the heads into the wall that's down there and stick the other one down and just Merry Fistmas and just beat the chains with my fists until every link is just broken. Be like, man, I wish I had a shield that I could it hurts my hands, but also feels really good. But the shield, I felt no pain. It was so much better.
This actually hurts a bit.
Right,
Thoricus, you start the spin of doom, and you get it all wound up around your axe. You kind of hurl the axe into the ceiling, pinning one edge of the chain. You spin it back the other way and grab a hand axe mid-strike. Throw it at the ground. The chain is suspended in front of you, and you're ready to throw 10 good punches into this thing and break through the metal of this chain. But once more imbued by the strength of the Raka, who seems to be filling you with extra strength after the torture just doled out to Toko, one of his devout followers, your fists just start heating up, and punching through metal that's been dipped in hot fire, you just blast through the central chains. You see Kreefus, as you're doing it, screams as if you're murdering his child. No! And you punch the chains. They fall lifelessly down to the ground. The life now punched out of them. Kreefus just gasping for breath on the ground. You see that seemed to take quite a bit out of him, Thoricus, but you have killed the living chains that had a life debt with Kreefus.
Wow.
So, are we up for renegotiations, or do I need to keep going?
You look at Kreefus, again, kind of almost the eyes of someone in grieving, as he kind of, he's weak and tired. He kind of looks up at you, his hair kind of casts across his face. You see devout hatred in his eyes, Thoricus. You see he kind of looks up at you and he's like, you can do whatever you want to me, but I swear to you that I will laugh when your soul gets swallowed by the deep.
You made a foolish error today. Every single one of you. And I shall laugh as these spirits suck the life from your bones.
And he spits in your face, Thoricus. You feel the wetness. Oh, it smells of sea salts and tobacco. It's pungent and sharp. He seems to be fine, continuing the way things are going right now.
Okay. Well, I've used all my actions, so.
I will see you in 6 seconds, motherfucker. You lay right there. You lay
Pretty
right
much,
there.
that's gonna be like, that's how it's gonna be? I'll see you in 6 seconds. Right fucking back. You just watch.
Coming for
I am
you.
so cool. I'm coming for you, boy. I'm coming for you.
All right. You know, Thoricus, if your turn's over, it's on you, Rial. You see the spit from Kreefus. What a fool! What a prideful fool to not know that his time has passed. You know, his tricks are all running out.
I think Divit's first, yeah.
Oh yeah, Divit. I'm sorry, Divit. You have the 20. Same as that I said to Rial, but with a deeper voice.
All right. Okay. I'd love to sit here and bash on this guy, but I feel like we're running out of time with all these spirits. So I'm gonna use Sculptor of Flesh, and I'm gonna cast Polymorph on this guy, Kreefus. And I wanna, if I may, I wanna turn him into a little teeny sea cucumber. And he has disadvantage because I hit him with that hex.
Honestly, I don't think Hex applies to saving throws. I know it sounds like it does, but an ability check is not a saving throw.
Oh, my bad.
It's
Well,
weird.
anyway.
I apologize. This is something that's bothered me for a while. I'm sure Rules is just like, got the answer. But it's like, I do feel like Hex would be like way too powerful if it also did save. I know it specifically says ability checks.
Oh,
so,
yes, it does. You're absolutely right. I still want to do this.
Yeah, totally. All right, so here we go. Go and give me a polymorph. He gets a saving throw, right? Or no?
Yeah, I think it's a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, that's right. Wisdom saving throw. Okay, I'll take the blinder off because this is a big one. And remember, he gets +3 to this. Here we go. DC 18. He needs a 15 or better.
I'll smash for that.
Oh my gosh. Dude,
only on a
this guy is
Tuesday.
the worst
come on.
saving throws ever. All right. You know? All right. Divot. You call upon, basically the most powerful ability that you have access to, this 4th level transmutation magic that you have up to this point used on yourself to turn into Tyrannosaurus Rexes and giant sharks. In this case, you turn this powerful magic upon another creature. An unwilling creature gets to make a saving throw to avoid the effect. It has no effect on a shape changer, which he is not. Transformation lasts for the duration or until the target drops to 0 hit points or dies. So what's your duration there, Divot? 1 hour.
An hour.
It's concentration.
Okay, so here's my plan. I carefully pick up this cucumber, and I grab the empty bottle that potion that he put on Toko was in, and I drop the cucumber in the bottle, and then I run outside of the office real quick, and we're in the Kracken, right? We're in the mouth.
Yeah.
So I want to look for where the throat is, and I want to hurl this fucking bottle into the throat as hard as I fucking can.
Dope. Make me an athletics check for distance, my friend.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I remember VeggieTales a lot different.
All right, it's like I said, you're not. It's not. Can you throw a bottle? You can, and that's a thing that's easily done. How far you can get it may be another question. With a 13, Divot, you not being a physically strong person, there was a time where your body had a lot of muscle, but it has since rotted away primarily. And yeah, you just kind of toss it. It barely makes it over the shattered bow. It's not the front of the ship. Over the shattered front of the ship. The board, if you will. The shattered board of this vessel. And it does, splot. You hear it kind of just like land in whatever like throat goo is present inside the inside of this Kracken.
And I yell, "Film the Kracken!"
All right. Divit, you hear the laugh of a Kraken who just can't get over how freaking tasty this joke is. And just like when you laugh, if you have a little frog in your throat, he's like, and you hear the little bottle full of the little sea thing just like, and fall deeper down into the throat through the laughter. Divit, you're standing there. You feel the walls of this giant Kraken rumbling around you. The spectral crew, 25 in number, start like slinking forward toward you on this boat. And then you see they all kind of like stop. They're looking over your shoulder. You kind of look back. You see Captain Kreefus sitting on the chair, the long yellow coat that he always wears, not wrapped in his chains like he was previously, but sitting there in his illusionary magic. Rial Othrevan, you see the ship, your illusion has worked. The crew of this ship thinks that you're Kreefus, and seeing that you're not in danger as you casually sit upon this chair, they sit awaiting your orders. Kreefus, what do you say?
Sorry for the inconvenience, but my crew, please welcome our very important guests.
You see they all kind of like look around at each other and they're like, whoa, 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 whoa. And they start going about their work. Bruenor, you're standing down in your prison cell. You see the specters also like, as they get closer and closer to you. And then finally one of them's like, Cha. And you're like,
Cha.
And he's like,
Cha.
Cha. Cha. Cha. Cha. You see the specters both above and below ground. Cha. Cha, cha, start joining in a chorus of chas as they resume to work for their captain, Kreefus, Rial in disguise. As you all ride in the ship toward Elmira in your translucent Kraken, cha, they all return to work. You see the illusionary images return back to their spectral form. As they continue their work on the ship, you hear the echoing of the chas. Suddenly in front of you, through the translucent skin of the Kraken, you see it, Bruenor. Sorry, you'd be like, Brenna, you probably had that set up before you said that. No, I didn't.
What?
Bruenor, you lay eyes as you're coursing tremendously through the quick water, the cold, dark waters of the deepest part of the ocean you call home. You lay your eyes upon the gleaming green peaks of the towers of the city of Ivory. You see the broken walls and barricades around the outside, which used to stand in defense, now tattered from the swarming tribe of Exonius as they come in. You see a whirling shadow, as if shadows teeter through the walls and archways of this once great city. No sign of life, only shadow. You see the broken ivory walls, the smashed golden gates, as you look upon mostly the preserved city itself, but stained with a shadow of blackness. As you start looking above the great spire of the royal pillar of Elmira, where your family once took suit, you see the ever-glowing presence of the shadow dragon Exonius. Like a blight across the ocean in front of you, swirling pools of shadow magic that encapsulate the town and sprinkle these shadowy wisps all over. As your eyes focus in, Bruenor, these shadows are no mere wisps of shade, but the tortured souls of all of the populace of the once great kingdom of Elmira. You see an army of shadows moving as wisps in and around the city. You hear the Kraken stop laughing as you lay eyes upon the shadow dragon at last. And that's where we're going to pick it up next time, guys.
Wow.
fucking wow. Wow.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow.
Wow.
Fuck me sideways.
Damn it.
Ooh, man. Holy crap, I love playing D&D with you guys. All right, so that's exactly what I planned you guys would do there. Mm-hmm.
You were expecting the sea cucumber?
No, yeah, I was like, all right, and then Divit will turn him into a sea cucumber. And then yes, this is man, holy crap,
a
dude.
little
So
nubby one.
here we are, guys. We exciting times. Bruenor, you are finally returning to your kingdom at last. Now, a shadow dragon is a mighty monster indeed, so, you might not want to, just walk up and go toe-to-toe with one of those. But we'll find out what happens next week at 8 p.m. Pacific every Tuesday here on Twitch. We drop our episodes over to YouTube the following Friday at 4:20 for that re-up. Catch us here, catch us there, catch us everywhere. All right, guys, we got this little ritual we like to do around here to wrap things up. Maybe you've heard about it, maybe you haven't. But we like to take a lighter, like these freaking glorious Weed&d lighters that Jay Taylor just had made up, and I love him forever. And like it says on the back, go, lighters up. Thank you for playing D&D with us, guys. Holy shit, Shadow Dragons and Krakens! Dungeons and Dragons and Shadow Dragons and Krakens.
Dragons and
Shadow Dragons and Krakens.
Fill in my Kracken.
Oh my god, is my Dungeons and Dragons freestyling career about to take off?
Filling my Kraken for Dungeons and Dragons.
There it is.
So what? You can't touch me, 'cause I'm from the internet.